Welcome to the Lotus Jawns. I'm waiting for the other two Jawns to appear. Waiting for the alerts to kind of happen across the board. It's good to see everybody.
The Lotus Jawns, going through the journey strong. Got to hustle and a bustle, we'll be with you all along. The Lotus Jawns, yeah, sometimes we get it wrong. That's the beauty and the lesson, keep it going, you belong. To you are a powerful dawn. To you are a powerful dawn. Hey,
Hey.
Hope you enjoyed the double intro. We know that you really like it, so we played it twice. Welcome back, Jawns. I missed you guys.
hey, Gary.
Hey, Mr. Robinson.
Gary.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jawns.
Yes, I think this is the first one post New Year, right?
Yes.
So I don't know what kind of bets you guys took out for what 2021 was gonna look like, but I think so far, we're doing a pretty good job.
Let's just leave that right there.
It's funny. I saw a post on Facebook that was like, I've had my initial 7-day trial of 2021 and I want a refund for my money. I bust out laughing.
No, for real.
I was like,
It's literally only been a week.
it has.
Like,
But,
I need for 2021 not to out ghetto 2020.
I
Like,
mean,
you don't have to one up. I mean, you one up. You don't have to one up.
I think that 2020 kind of snuck up on us though. Like it started off smooth and it was right as rain. And then it was like, like what? Didn't see that coming, huh? But I guess on Lotus Jawns Fashion, welcome back everybody. For those that have been kind of staying tuned. Thank you to those that have been following us on Instagram and Facebook. And who are truly engaged and commenting. We're working on, just kind of getting into a quality frequency of posting regularly. Philadelphia had a snow day and we took a snow week. So we hope that you guys have enjoyed your time off, but classes have resumed and we're right back here ready to kind of pour back into you guys. So in Lotus Jawns Fashion, we begin all things with an affirmation. So, you good, Faust? I feel like you were doing some food. I can hear you. I can see you.
All right, I had to get off my Wi-Fi because y'all were breaking up and I was missing stuff. Sorry.
Okay. It's okay. You look definitely clear and you sound clearer too.
All right, good.
So, in Lotus Jawns Fashion, we're gonna do our affirmation. Positive mantra, chant of peace. I'm hoping in 2021 that the fact that we do these regularly is sending a different layer of energy out into the year to truly manifest. Because every year I make a somewhat of a prediction of how things are going to go. And I think I did a pretty good job for last year. I'm hoping the things that I said this year kind of come to fruition. But with that being said, just know that you guys are a powerful Jawn, and I'm going to let the other two Lotus Jawns take it away.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Deep breath in and out. Though the political climate appears tumultuous,
I know my internal voice and the vibrations of unity overpowers the energy of separation.
I
am a powerful
Jawn.
Ooh, that was short and
that
sweet.
was a good one.
Thank you. Keep it condensed, no extra things.
Yes.
No extra.
Yes. Nothing. We don't need nothing extra in 2021. That's for sure.
No, we don't. No, we
Um, so I guess to begin things off in Lotus Jawns fashion,
Catch on
catch up on everything.
everything.
KOE.
Yes. So, Happy New Year. I guess let's start from
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year. You know,
New Year.
how was your New Year? It was like, we were still on lockdown.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Are you trying to pretend like you was, not on lockdown?
This was our lock. I mean, we were locked in. What else was we supposed to do?
That's funny.
But enjoy bringing in the new year from the safety of our home.
I slept through it. I woke up to
I
this
know.
gunshots. I was like, oh, Happy New Year. And then went back to sleep. I woke up again at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Gunshots. But, it's just, it's a waste of bullets.
I kind of did the same thing. I fell asleep and I woke up to fireworks and gunshots and I woke up a little bit beforehand because my sisters called me right before the new year, and then I kind of just prayed through the first 5 to 10 minutes, and then I just went back to sleep. I watched the fireworks outside the window a little bit, but I just chilled. I went to bed super early.
So you born in the new year rested.
Yeah. I hope that is the theme of this year.
Yeah.
If I can be honest.
And I felt really good the next day. When I woke up on January 1st, I felt so good and refreshed and nice. So I'm hoping that's an idea of what this year is going to be like a glimpse of it.
Agreed. More rest. Mm-hmm. Yep. May the year after the year of the nurse be filled with rest and vacation.
Yes.
Yeah.
They need to, as I know there's been some memes and stuff floating around, whatever's coming up this year, just leave the nurses out of it.
Please.
You guys have been beat down.
Please, I don't know if they named it the year of the nurse after COVID started or somebody whispered it beforehand, but whatever mix that y'all put in the cauldron and stirred it, undo it. Undo it. We don't want to be involved. Everybody, for the most part, that I know that's a nurse right now is burnt out and is looking for a secondary career.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, maybe going into staying at home wifing. I'm applying for those positions. I hear that
you're applying online using the
app. Yeah, I hear that that's a great option. I got to comb through, some of the job descriptions and advertisements to see what the requirements are. But I think in 2021, hopefully by December, I will have solidified that as a job, hopefully.
Well, now that we got our New Year festivities out of the way, these children are still doing virtual learning.
How's that going, Mom?
I mean, I know the other parents who are here or will watch later know. I mean, it's going. I ordered them some new supplies, which I have yet to pick up from Amazon, but I ordered it on the New Year. So I did something. Step one, start. I just have to go pick it up. So I was thinking a lot about the fact that before the Christmas break, they were ready for a break. I was too. That 2 weeks, we didn't even dust those computers off. They used anything else and everything else to access the internet. Usually, they'll try to use it for. They didn't even go anywhere near. I don't blame them. So I blew the dust off of them the day before and make sure everything charged up. One of my sons broke his screen again. I'm not going to say which one. So had to get that repaired the day before. And I have some supplies for them. It's kind of like the sensory stuff. So there's this thing that you can put under your desk for your feet to bounce them around to kind of make them feel like they're doing something else besides just sitting there. I mean, it's kind of, I feel like they're doing the best that they can. The teachers are doing the best that they can. I'm just trying to add a few things to kind of break up the monotony of it. So that was one thing I wanted to do for them for the new year. Give them some extra supports for their seated virtual learning. I mean, they do get wiggle breaks and stuff like that, but I figured if I add that, there's another cushion that you can put on the seat that gives them the ability to kind of move without literally shaking the chair. So you put it, I I don't know what they really call it. I've seen it used before for other things. It's like a flattened version of like the the therapy pole. And you put it on your seat, and it's like a wobble cushion. So
Saw that in your cart.
yeah, you saw it in my cart. You saw that. So I got one. So I haven't picked them up yet. So I'm hoping that they help them. Kind of like, you know. I haven't really talked to them about their New Year's resolutions. I tried to initiate that conversation with them. They weren't really into it. So guess what? I made some New Year's resolutions for them. You know, I gotta have my kids back. They are doing chores. So this was the first week. This was the first week of every other day dinner dishes rotation between the older two. I'm still trying to figure out with the younger two. With the younger, I done added a child, y'all. 9:20.
Is that what 2021 is bringing?
No, that was a mistake. I misspoke. I'm still working on like a chore for the younger one, something he can do pretty consistently. He told me he wanted to poop or scoop the kitty litter box, and I'm like, okay. I mean, that's something that has to be done, but he was a little too enthusiastic about it. I there's a cat flying through the air, so I'm like, you know what? Let's just stick with picking up the toy. How about you do that for me? Well, we actually he asked to help with the laundry, so I think that might be something that we can work on for the rest of the week. Like, you know, help him put the socks together. I don't want to do that anyway. You do it. So yeah, that's how New Year's resolutions and New Year plans have been going for them in my house for us. I've been doing some yoga too. So that a part of my New Year's resolution was to be more active. I feel like I'm active enough, like, you know, trying to keep up with them. But I mean, I'm on the other side of 30 now, so I mean, we all are. So taking multivitamins, going to bed early, and being active, I feel like I can't delay it any longer. Like, it has to be done. I'm not.
I feel like after 30, everything started falling apart.
Like, yeah. My leg was just like, yo, what is going on?
It's just they suck the youth out after 30. At 30.
And so, with that being said, back to the school thing. Philly schools are not, to my understanding, they're not opening yet. I mean, I don't see how they could anyway, because we're still in the red league.
That's the thing that's kind of funny. They've opened back up the gyms, and they have opened back up some restaurants for dining. You know.
I'm like, are we still in the red? So we can't. Are we in like the orange? I don't know if the orange is a color, but honestly, I'm tired of keeping up with it. I'm trying to because I know it's responsible, but I know, to my knowledge, the schools aren't opening back up just yet. I know they keep revisiting a conversation, like, you know, they throw out a date, and then that date comes, and everybody meets back together, and they discuss it, and they just realize that, you know, obviously, it would be not a good idea to put a bunch of kids back in the building together just yet because the COVID rates were so high. But so, and as far as for my children's school, they're still all virtual right now. There are some students that I know that they have come in. I think it's for the daycare, but that's a really limited number, and it has to be for the, you know, the parents who need, you know, like really, really need it. So they're still virtual learning. So we got to find ways to support the kids through that, and staff and teachers for some time.
I applaud them for being able to hold it down this long, because doing online college is a lot.
It's already it's
person trying to be in online school. But yeah, for the most part, it looks like they're moving towards open Philadelphia back up. From what I've seen inside of the hospital, I think the last I was at work, the floor for COVID wasn't full. You know, they're still kind of doing the other services, surgery. You know, they're still having regular appointments. It's just they're not doing it at the same capacity that they were doing pre-COVID. But it seems like business as usual. Mm-hmm. So I know from an economic standpoint, looking at Philadelphia, we're really about hospitality, restaurants, tourism. So I know that they're looking at it from an overarching financial standpoint, that they can't keep the city closed for forever. Mm-hmm. So they've been building outside, inside. You know, that whole is tricky. All this summer on into the winter, which is a little bit crazy, but I won't dig too much into that. But literally, downtown now looks like a shelter in place outside. Like instead of there being these streets downtown that were 2 lanes of traffic, they're 1 lane of traffic, and each side of the street that would be an additional car lane is now a small shelter that's used for eating outside. Inside. It's literally like an outside inside dining situation. Like if you were to build a shed all the way down a city block and divide it into sixths and have a little table in between each little booth that's divided by a shower curtain. I'm not sure which scientific entity said that this was safe,
appropriate
than eating inside, but all of the restaurants in Philadelphia are building inside dining as an alternative to inside dining. I'm not sure what kind of like.
Yeah, all the memes are like, okay, so I get it now. We can eat inside as long as the inside is outside.
I'm not sure what type of like ventilation system they've got going outside, inside. But
there have been places that have these like, so I don't know where all the other joints out there are, but here, like you said, the things that we've seen are like tents, and they have, I don't know if the entrance ways stay open or not, but most of the time when I ride past them, I see that the doorway to the front and the back of it is open.
At nighttime, it's 28 degrees in Philly this week. So I'm not sure how outside eating is really working with outside, inside.
Now, there have been other places that have these things called igloos. I haven't seen them too many places, but I know there's one place in Chestnut Hill that has them, and they literally go around each table, which I think that makes more sense. Like,
it does. I don't know if it does.
I don't know. I feel like if you're going to go sit with a person at the table, then you must be confident in the fact that you guys are,
The way my nursing brain kind of spirals a little bit, and I know that as a collective, as a country, they haven't really talked about, the how this is kind of transmitted. In the beginning, it was saying that COVID could survive on a surface for such and such amount of time. Then that was kind of altered. They weren't really sure. They were like, it's suspended in the air. And they was like, it doesn't suspend that long. It lands on the floor. It can land on surfaces. I feel like these are all things that have yet to be revisited. So it's like, okay, if I think that I'm COVID negative, but I sneeze inside of the igloo, right? And then I leave out of the igloo, and whatever cleaning supply or rotation of cleaning the restaurant has for cleaning the igloo for the next human being, is the shower curtain of plastic still holding the virus in it or not? So the outside dining situation,
it's not making a whole lot of sense. Okay.
There's layers of it that don't make sense to me, but I know that as a collective, everybody in our country is looking for the way to feel safest. The intellectual nursing part of me is looking for the logic behind it at the same time, because comfort is one thing, placebo effect is one thing as well. I'm like, is it really protecting, or is it safe? Because eating outside in 20-degree weather underneath the shower curtain might feel safe, but it might not be safe. And I'm not really I'm not really sure if it's I'm not sure yet if that's.
Thank you for your unofficial professional opinion on
I'm not sure.
Outside eating.
So I didn't realize I was muted. I was cracking up.
But yes, I just have to say that, this is my opinions doesn't necessarily, mirror the thoughts and feelings of the place in which I'm employed, but from a logical nursing standpoint, these are some serious intellectual questions that I myself pose to the scientific community. Yes. Okay. So moving on, because we've been dancing and catching up everything for a little while. So I know that you guys may or may not have seen the news. I don't watch TV enough to really say that I'm a news buff, but while I'm at work, if the TV is on and I'm in and out of patient rooms, occasionally while I'm prepping medications or fluffing pillows, I get a chance to catch you. And that happened while I was at work, probably all last night. What in the world was happening on Capitol Hill? And I love Black Twitter, Black Instagram, and all of the comments from the Black and brown folks across, and even some of our allies, of less than melanated content who are like, what in the world just happened? Because the universal across the board from which I saw was a black person would never be able to get that close. You know, like what?
They
If
get
we look
that
back
close. I'm
yeah,
like, we would have been shot in the
because
street
our peaceful
down there.
protests were definitely like, oh no, those Negroes is congregating. You know, the thought that there were too much of us too close together, you know, set off an alarm where there were droves of police just in case something
Right.
popped off. So to see like the comments that I've enjoyed the most, I'm gonna like pass the mic after this. But the comments honestly that I enjoyed the most from reading on Instagram, Facebook, and the likes were that we had talked about retraining our police force so that they know not to initiate with force unnecessarily. And a lot of the comments that I read were saying that, oh, they don't need retraining because they know when not to be aggressive, because clearly they knew that, okay, when to stand down, when to wait, because they didn't initially use all of those same protocols that they used in our peaceful protests. And I thought that was deep. It was really deep. That was deep. But anyway, Jawns, your thoughts?
On the riot, honestly,
It was deep.
I was trying to figure out. I mean, there was there's headlines and stuff sliding all across the TV about what's actually going on. I'm like, huh? Like,
I think I texted you and said, hey,
there was a lot of people, huh?
I think I texted you like, hey, did you see the news? You're like, what?
Yeah, because I didn't even have time to watch TV when it was happening, but I penciled it in. But I'm like, what the hell? So once you start, like you said, take the social media or try to find a credible source online real quick. Somebody got to tell me what's going on. I really felt like I was in the middle of the drama that unfolds in my house between my 3 children. Like, what happened here? Give me the short story. What happened? Like everything was fine, and then I turn around and y'all rioting. What's happening? No,
not just rioting, you climate scaling and building. Interesting.
So the thing is, I'm like, okay, we're standing. Their father and I are standing at the TV, and we're trying to figure out. All right, we're listening to the story. What's going on here? Okay, these people are breaking into Capitol Hill because they're upset about Trump not being the president. I'm like, okay, oh my God. Didn't this election happen in November?
Mm-hmm.
They felt like it was stolen from them.
Okay, well, whether it was it or not, and I don't know if this is okay to say here, but I'm just like, didn't y'all have like almost 2 months to get over it? Like, for real. My thing is, and now, like, some of their, the Trump supporters are taking to their social media, and they're, so upset because, there was force used against them to stop them from doing what they're not supposed to do, even if something was stolen is a way that we're supposed to deal with this civilly, and trying to compare it to the struggles that the Black community have been having. I'm gonna say over the last year, but I'm gonna say for our goddamn lifetime. Like, oh, you guys can do it, we can do it too. No. We were getting shot and killed. We're still getting shot and killed. Okay, it's always been this way. Honestly, I mean that's I feel like that's a conversation for another Jawns Live. But don't compare our stuff with y'all stuff. Saved it. Saved it. Don't compare our stuff with y'all stuff. It's not the same stuff. We were out here because we were talking about our lives and how much they matter. Hence, the banners, the t-shirts, the goddamn darn phone cases. You know what I mean? Black Lives Matter. Y'all mad because y'all didn't get your way.
I mean, it was deep. It was honestly deep. No, granted, I didn't get all of the piecemeal of it, but there were different layers of it. There were different layers of it that were really, really interesting. Like, on one hand, I don't necessarily agree with the policies, don't necessarily agree with the strategies, but the fact that, one, they were unified was interesting. We all collectively said, you know what, y'all? We're going to go blue, 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 you know? And
but my thing is, I don't understand what they were going to do.
Right. I don't know if they had a full idea of what they were going to do either.
I mean, Donald Trump.
I realized a lot of the times with certain riots, they just destroy stuff. It's not necessarily a full game plan.
I don't think. I mean, obviously it wasn't complete. Look who was the head of it. He's not complete. He's like, I'm going to walk down there with you. I didn't see no orange Cheeto dust anywhere. Did you? No. I was watching, one of my friends had me watching Steve Colbert and his whole take on it and, what he thought. And he was like, this guy told you guys to go and do this, that, the third, and the other thing. And he wasn't even there. He was wherever he was.
He couldn't be there. That's not how that works. You protect the president at all costs. It was deep, though, honestly.
They broke so many laws, and he, like Steve said, they are he started it. He encouraged these people to go and do this crap. There's so many other words I want to drop here, but I just feel like it's
true. It's deep though. I mean, if it was like a different, I feel like the layers of it were interesting. One, looking at it from like an international standpoint, other countries have rioted and felt like, their government didn't necessarily hear the message of what the people wanted. France is like an example. They in the streets, burning stuff, going off, trying to run through parliament. The fact that could actually happen in the US was deep. Which I feel like set a precedence. Now, did it all make sense? Not quite. But I think to a degree it shook up our government in a way that like, oh shoot. Like, I'm sure they're gonna beef up security after this. But the fact that
I don't even know where their security was in the first place.
Right, true. The fact that a group of people could actually like rush up in there and like break through your door and sit in your chair and take selfie pics is deep.
With no mask. During COVID.
With no mask. But I think it speaks volumes to the fact that like there's so much going on the internet realm that said, wow, how is this group allowed to actually be let in? They said that it was actually police officers that opened up the gates to allow them to go in. But if you think about all of the other movements that we ourselves have been kind of like holding hands and hoping that things will change.
They're prepared for us a day before.
Absolutely. And there's probably absolutely no way. If it was a quality cause, like, you know what, we're tired of this, we probably would not even have been allowed to knock on the door, but I think from looking at it from just like a general perspective, the fact that that type of protest could happen in the US is saying something, because it happens elsewhere all the time. Venezuela, Paris, it's deep. It's deep. It's deep. But to a degree, I hope that from a political standpoint, looking at 2020 and looking through 2021, that even if that wasn't the voice of the masses per se, I hope that the political powers that are there that are supposed to be acting on our benefit are actually listening to us as a collective and are able to kind of push forward what we as a people want. The fact that they did say, hey, yeah, we recounted and all of these states said that they wanted this guy, we don't care what you guys say, was kind of cool. Because I mean, some of them could have said, no, I'm folding because this dude threatened to hurt me and I'm going to vote the other way. Of course, there were some layers of, there's still a lot of discussion of whether or not there's voter suppression, but that's kind of been going on for years. Hopefully this will open up the door for them to truly do some solid investigation. Over the past couple of years, they've even said that the voting machines have been altered, and this was pre-Trump. There's definitely some things within our voting system that need to be remedied. So hopefully all of this will drive attention to greater things, and shake everybody up enough, to be like, oh, let me really kind of put my ear to the ground and know what's going on. Because even though I feel like at times we are like, that would never happen here, clearly 2021 has shown us that no, pandemics happen in the US and riots and political upheaval happens here too.
All at the same time.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm passing it on because I'm like, all of a sudden I got on my soapbox. Next.
I don't know. I had like a pretty like chill time watching it, because like when I first heard it was happening, I was like, I don't care about this. I don't feel like watching it. I hate watching this stuff. I don't really like this type of stuff. Like, I just don't feel like it. But then I turned it on and I was like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. And I started getting like a lot of anxiety watching it. And then so I just played like meditation music behind it as it was happening. So I had like the meditation music coming out and like the newscasters talking, and it just kind of changed the whole vibe. And it kind of like it helped me see it for what it was and not get so caught up in like how people are saying things and what people are saying, and like it was just to be able to see the footage. And I don't know, I just think it's wild. Like I don't really have too much to say about it, but it's just bananas. It's just bananas. And like you said, you had like 2 months to kind of deal with this stuff, but they probably been planning for like 2 months.
Oh yeah,
they probably been planning for 2 months.
Well, they should have.
How are we going to get? Because I think they thought
I don't really know what they got besides statues and papers.
I think they thought that the vice president could like renege like Joe Biden becoming the president or something like that. It was something like that, and it was like it wasn't true, and
they were trying to start.
They thought they could go in there and just take over. I'm just like, what were y'all trying to do? Like, what was the actual plan?
And yeah,
they fucking killed some. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse, but they killed somebody.
They did.
So what it was being said is that they were trying to start a coup. So by definition, that's a sudden, violent, and illegal seizure of governmental power. You know. So they were trying to shake things up and take over. Is what they were saying. That's why they're calling them domestic terrorists. You know, because it's like, what you were trying to run up in government and do what? Like, it's really insane. Like, I wonder what kind of jail you're going to go to. Like, what kind of jail is that? Because that's not regular jail.
And honestly, that was the first time that I heard like a newscaster, like a white newscaster, call white people on television thugs.
I know, it was the craziest thing. And they said terrorists, and they meant it. Like I was like, this is clearly 2021.
2021
terrorist, a terrorist. What? You know, I mean, when we were in school, you know, high school, middle school, you know, it was the war in Afghanistan. So the view of terrorism on the news had one look. So the fact that it was like a terrorist, it was like, what?
It's like for once.
It definitely was different. It was definitely, like, and it definitely used all of the trigger words they used in the Black community. Thugs. These thugs. Wow. It was definitely, it was definitely different here and there. But I don't know. It was kind of exciting though, in a way, because I'm like, the fact that this many Black and brown peoples, this many communities, this many people across the U.S. said, no, that's not us. You know, and said, no, that's not what we want. Or the amount of people that came out in Georgia to vote. You know, of course, political education is still a big thing that we all need to do, you know, and invest our time in and really understand the structures of government and what all of this stuff means. Because I know for some, probably watching it on TV is like, what are they saying? But to truly feel like your voice needs to be heard, your vote needs to be counted, and we all of us need to be politically aware. I'm like, that is the part that I'm excited for, because I feel like the generations to come are going to feel even more invested in the fact that, no, I am an American, I live here, and I have the ability to change the government and those people who are seated to be able to change what I want as far as community healthcare, etc. That part is exciting. As tumultuous as this part is, I'm like, we're rewriting our future, which is cool. You know, we've got the power to kind of change all of that. So yeah, sorry. Oh my God.
That's what's up.
But it was crazy. I'm like, what? Did that white boy just climb the wall? What?
That
was crazy.
It was the selfies for me.
Yes, and they said that the cops actually took selfies with some of these people. I was like, never in a Black million years. Never. It's amazing. Amazing.
So I guess we can move on into our next segment. We're done catch up on everything. I think that was enough catch up.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Plenty of catch up.
Drowns in ketchup. up. So.
Let's go into the Lotus Pad.
The Lotus Pad. Is that just, what's that, an arm snake?
I should have did this arm. I could do it better on this arm.
I can't even do it, but go ahead.
I'm gonna just do this the rest of the show.
Snake was dead.
So, all right. So today on the Lotus Pad, we're gonna be talking about, like last week before the new year, we were talking about what our New Year's resolution was. And now today we're officially into 1 week into 2021, guys. So
and I
what
hope
we
I
are
have
going to talk about is how have we been holding up with our New Year's resolutions, ladies?
You go first.
Oh, technically, they already dropped hers.
Well, I actually My New Year's resolution is kind of complicated. Shout out to Sunny Shine with planning a plan. But I use my Artist of Life workbook, and it's kind of like how I plan out. Not like I give like a scope for how I want the year to go, but I plan the first 3 months, the first quarter of the year, and I set like my daily habits that I wanted to have, and I've been sticking with all of them. One, which a new one is yoga every day. I've been doing shout out to Yoga with Adrienne. I've been doing her 30 days of yoga. It's called Breath. For 2021. I'm on my 7th day. Today is my 7th day. I've been noticing that I like to do it at night. And I've been having my what I've been calling them is my gratitude baths. So every Sunday I have a bath and I listen to Tony Jones. Shout out to Tony Jones, you saved my life. And shout out to Candace at the Wallflower Observer for introducing me to her. But I listen to her and she's really empowering. She does like spoken word, affirmation type stuff. And I've been sticking to my resolution. I've been doing really well. Like my vision board has been helping me out in all types of situations. Especially when I get triggered, like I've been able to just sit at my laptop and look at my vision board and kind of calm myself back down. So I'm really looking forward to 2021. If this is like a glimpse of like what it's gonna be like this first week, I'm really excited about it. And I think it's gonna be really good.
I'm hoping so. I'm not gonna say I think, but I hope.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be. Yeah, I know it's gonna be really.
I know. That's all what I know. Yeah. That's affirming.
Yeah.
Take it.
So which one of y'all Johns want to go next?
Guess it'll be me.
Ma'am Jones.
I don't know about these other mom Johns out there, but I know if I'm gonna make it through parenthood at all, I need to be, like I said earlier, taking care of myself better. I feel like I've been, like we always talk about that. I feel like that's a big thing with us Lotus Jawns. We talk about self-care and we want to kind of inform the other Johns out there how we take care of ourselves, and maybe they can, I don't know, grab on to some of what we have if they don't, have a direction to go in. But I've too been doing yoga. That's one of my resolutions has been to be more active. I'm not going to say I hate it, but when I think about having to work out, I just don't want to do it a lot. So, me and the medical John, we got to go to, where did we go? Home Goods and Marshalls.
Yes.
So we got some things from there. Okay, they had, I don't know. Listen, shout out to Home Goods and Marshalls. I hope give us stuff.
It was like an awesome excursion.
Yeah. So all the Jones out there who are looking to get active and trying to find where they can get some really inexpensive and nice quality activewear, they had all of the stuff in there, and they actually had a lot of it was on clearance. I guess because the stuff that we got on clearance, I don't know if you got any, but I did get some from the clearance rack. The pants and stuff were kind of like lined, I guess, for the winter, and I guess they're gonna be putting out the spring stuff soon. But I got a lot of active, like the yoga Zumba pants off the clearance rack, and they even had, I'm not gonna say they had a large selection, but they did have enough mats to choose from, like yoga mats and exercise mats. They even had some good quality name brand. I'm not really sure what all the names were, but I could tell by the packaging they were name brand, like I don't know, what is it, like workout. It wasn't really equipment. It was like the blocks that you use for yoga. There might have been some resistance stuff. I know Lee got this really cool folding yoga mat. It was really decent. I had never seen a yoga mat like that before. So I say all this to say I was trying to get myself excited about being active and moving around. And I realized that by the time we get to 8 o'clock, I don't parent between the hours of 8 and 7 unless it's an emergency. I'm not doing it. Okay. So I've been getting up early, trying to get to bed early, get up early, and do my power hour. I read this somewhere before last year, and it just didn't really go. I mean, last year didn't really go as planned, how anybody planned it. So I was like, well, whatever. I'll try to re-kick it again this year. And I tried to start. When did we meet last? I guess it was 2 weeks ago. I was like, if I kind of start these ideas before the new year comes in, the first week of the new year will technically be my second week of this new routine. That way I wouldn't be throwing everything on myself at once. But for all the parent Jones and mom Jones and dad Jones and caregiver Jones out there, if you haven't started yet, I would say, like Fi said, plan to plan. Like try to find some time in the day. Maybe it's not a power hour, maybe it's a power half an hour. But for the power hour, I do like I can do up to 30 minutes of yoga. I don't always do it up to an exact 30 minutes, and then there's some meditation and journaling, and then there's some time for me to either read or write for that whole hour. And then by the time I'm done with that, I do feel ready for the day. Like I've been needing to arm myself, okay, between being stretched in 3 different directions and trying to make sure that everybody's fed and getting educated. It can be a lot. So I feel like the power hour has really been helping. So far, that's been like the only thing I've been able to execute quite nicely off of my New Year's resolution list. There's some others. So there's one thing I did carry over with me into the new year. It was, one of the things that Ali, shout out to Ali, who said to us before was, don't let perfect get in the way of getting done. And I know that sometimes I stall on my ideas and plans because I want everything to look perfect. And I've been trying to really keep that near like my heart and like work through that, because it's like I got all the yoga pants. I'm like, I need the tops. Okay, just do the yoga and the tank top and the pants. You got the pants. Just start. Like, so I just been trying to I don't know, get started some way.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up.
Damn. So I'm gonna round this Lotus Pad session off. So as far as my New Year's resolution, I went back in the text thread between the Jawns to see what I was actually doing. So in the beginning, I said generally I make a funny prediction by accident of what the year is gonna look like. Last year I said that 2020 was gonna be the year of Sankofa, to return and fetch it, to go back into the ways of old and to kind of use it as a guide to how to push forward with your future. And it was 2020 that. Not sure where that thought came from or which ancestor drove that thought forward. But last year was definitely Sankofa. This year, New Year's Eve and the week of New Year's Eve and the month of December, I do the same things. I play the same meditation music in my house. I light the same incense, but the same common image or symbol kept appearing. And it was like I was talking to Zhang and I was like, you know what? This is this thing. And I think
I was waiting for your prediction. I was waiting for I'm like, did you get any visions on this year's theme?
And as I was talking to her, I was like, wait, I did. I got this rock with the symbol on it, and then I got this, but I also had this thing that also has a symbol on it. And I was like, what's this thing called? So, M for B, aka the medical Jawn, aka the spiritual Jawn, aka this Lotus Jawn over here. Prediction for 2021 is that this is the flower of life. I bought a wind chime with the flower of life on it. I have some curtains that have like a modified blooming version of the flower of life. And the funny thing is that was my second flower of life stone that I had. So what is the flower of life? And why is this part important to my New Year's resolution? So the flower of life is it's a symbol that is a part of sacred geometry that is composed of several overlapping circles that forms a geometric shape. So there's a couple other like symbols within the flower of life, but most people say that the flower of life is actually the blueprint of the universe. There's so many mathematical equations, etc., within this actual image, and it's an image or a pictograph that was seen in a lot of different ancient civilizations. So I'll leave it at that. In my meditative moments, also pre-New Year's, I was listening to a lot of different radio stations that were geared towards like relaxation. Doesn't matter where I am in my house, there's always one constant musical selection playing. Doesn't matter if I play other music on top of it, visualizations is always playing. But I just so happened to be listening to a radio station, and Gayatri Mantra came on. If you don't know what that is, I'll write it probably in the comment section below. And I was like, wait a minute, this sounds
Is that the one you was listening to? And I was like, oh, what's that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of
and
like
I have
draws
played
you into
the
it.
It
Gayatri
was nice.
Mantra since then, which is, they say it's a 4,500-year-old Sanskrit chant that pretty much is paying homage to the creative force of energy, and sprinkling power and positivity out into the universe. And I said, oh my goodness, look at this. I got the symbol of 2021 and the mantra of 2021. So literally, that Gayatri Mantra, along with the musical version of it, and this flower of life symbol and the blooming of life symbol, has been the part of, I guess, me blooming into 2021. So my goals of this year are to kind of continue to bloom. I've been a nurse for 10 years, but I know that spiraling into our next, segment of Lotus Jawns is that I feel like at this stage, I need to kind of expand upon my other greatest gifts, um, and kind of dive a little deeper into what it is and who it is that I am. So yoga is one thing. I said at the tail end of last year, I was gonna finish working on my ancestral room, and it's gonna be the ancestral room, a meditative room, art room. I plan on doing yoga in there, meditative thought, you know, might even play a little bit of music, but that room is going to be dedicated to my spiritual growth and development. Not to say that it won't happen all over the house, but that room, I'm going to hang all of the pictures of my ancestors in there, the ones that have kind of been underneath glass on an old dresser probably for the last 50 years. That's the goal. But this year too, I said I was going to speak into existence my future. So calling on the ancestors to bring forth my most perfect mate, my family, and the ability to stay at home for the next 5 years, so that I don't have to do nursing while I'm raising this perfect family. So yes, those are, my New Year's resolutions, to be more peaceful, more productive, more in alignment with the flower of life, and to pour into myself daily a continuous chant and prayer within my soul, amongst other positive things. But that is my goal for the new year, to be more physically, mentally, and spiritually fit, and more at peace. So yeah. So I'm gonna segue that into our next Lotus Jawns segment, which is adulting.
Adulting.
Yes. And with the remaining 7 minutes on the clock, we're gonna move forward. So with adulting, I feel like I already talked about my dreams, goals, and aspirations and things like that. So adulting, my goal this year is to find my secondary perfect career outside of nursing. I already told you I've been filling out applications to figure out how to be a stay-at-home wife. This isn't a real thing. I'm filling these applications out into the universe. I'm not really filling them out on a website, but yes.
On stayathomewives.com.
Yeah. So nonprofit sector, teaching sector, at-home business, maybe pouring into Womb Oasis, my LLC, as a thing to try and figure out how I can make another form of income so that I don't have to physically be in the hospital for my coins. That's my adulting goals. But take it away.
Yeah, I know we had talked a lot recently about career shifts for you it was career shift. Files and I got to talk a little bit about it too. When we were talking about, what are we gonna, what are we gonna say to the Johns today, or what are we gonna talk to them about for adulting, and the whole idea about shifting careers, or like you said, looking into some of your other passions came up again. I feel like that might too be one of the sub themes of this year. I don't know if that's true for all of our Johns out there, but I don't know, for a long time I felt like, I know we're not that old, but maybe I'm too old to kind of switch things up. I should just go and continue to do it with what I know. But I realized last year, after it was snatched from under my feet, that I wasn't necessarily stuck. Like, I did enjoy my work, but I feel like it so having the time away from it, I saw that I enjoyed it, but maybe it was time to level up. Not necessarily change and go off in a completely different direction, but maybe shimmy up the same tree but a different branch, if you know what I mean. There are some other things I am really passionate about working with children. I feel like I feel most alive and most joy when I do work with them and their families. So I've been thinking about trying to find ways to, not let perfect get in the way of getting it done, and actually, start to figure out how I can, I don't know, get on this new branch. I have been having talks with one of my close friends. Shout out to Deja K. Brantley. Um, she studies ABA, and she's actually working a few different jobs now, but all of her jobs are working with children and their families, and supporting them with their behaviors and things like that. So that's something I've been talking to her about. It's working on, like, specifically in like getting knee deep into like helping parents with behaviors kind of scares me, because I kind of feel like, I'm gonna be honest here, Jones, like I kind of feel like underqualified. But it was one thing that came up in conversation between us that she had said to me multiple times, but for some reason it just stuck out this time. It's just like, okay, but just like, because you don't know, how to do it now, doesn't mean you can't learn how to do it. Like, I'm already pretty good with working with children, and like, I'm pretty good with working with children. I feel like working with families sometimes can be a challenge. The last 2 years have been challenging because of the program we were in. But I feel like I've been learning a lot already, and I feel like I'm now getting the guts to make this shift. I'm not really sure how it's going to go. So to all the Johns out there who are beginning to make a shift, I know it's scary, but it might be necessary, and it would be to your benefit. You can do it. That's my cheer to myself and to all the other mom Johns out there who might be shifting due to COVID or, personal preference or need. I don't know. That was my tidbit on adulting. I have to find a job and possibly find a completely different job from my old job. Not completely different, but similar, but not exactly the same.
I feel like for my adulting, like, as far as like, what was it, dream jobs and shifting careers, I actually just I guess like admitted to myself, because I mean, we all know I'm the creative of joy, I'm a musician and stuff like that, but I do get really doubtful sometimes if like this is what I'm really supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I go through like little phases of that, but my sister recommended that I look up my life path number, and I was like, what the hell is a life path? Like a life path. But then I looked it up, and my life path number is 3, which is the creative. And it was like, we're like the most creative out of the life path numbers, and like we're good at making like things beautiful, and but it was just basically the perfect number for me. And like I was like, no, this is right. I am on a right path. Like, music is like, because honestly, music is the only thing I feel comfortable dedicating my life to. Like, I feel comfortable saying that. It doesn't give me like any weird vibes or anxiety or anything like that. I feel okay dedicating my entire life to it. So what I'm trying to manifest is like writing with bigger names. Like, I want to write songs for bigger names, and I'm trying to get my coin from writing songs.
Right. So, I'm glad you said that.
So that's what I'm like manifesting, and I did a lot of writing last year, and you will be seeing that coming out this year, 2021. But yeah, that's where my mind is at. That's where my heart is at. And I just believe. I literally believe in the power of love, and it can like lead me to wherever I need to go. Oh, I'm banking on that, and I'm banking on that in my career as well. So yes.
So I want to talk about one thing you said. I know we gotta like kind of wrap things up, because our medical.
Our instant info got to be like 3 minutes, if that.
It has to be like, yeah, if that.
3 minutes, if that. So are we moving into instant info?
Oh wait, we got to move into feeling myself.
Feeling myself.
We have to. I've been taking care of myself very, very well. I've been meditating. I've been journaling. I've been doing all this stuff. And my curls are still in because I've been wearing my bonnet still.
Yes. We all been feeling ourselves. I went and I bought some stuff with Zing at Marshall's Home Goods. I bought some great things. I'll post some pictures of it. I've been feeling myself. I also got a ring made. Shout out to I'm one Styles. It's his business name, Moshe Lee, aka Ray Moose. Make great jewelry. Myself. I'll put the link below so that you can also support my jewelers. Okay.
And Fazia needs to drop the link after this to her yoga lady.
Yoga
with
Adrian. Yes, I will.
The woman I've been following on YouTube is Ariana Elizabeth Bright, the letter X Salted on Instagram, I think. And I think that's her handle for her other social media pages as well. So yeah, we've been trying to get active, get fit. Are you okay?
No, I was about to say so. Love it.
No, you changed your mind? All right.
I thought she was done and I was about to segue.
Say it. She is done. Next.
Okay. So next up is Instant Inspo. This is where we keep y'all joins with some instant inspiration when we know how to talk, to get you through until you see us again.
Mm-hmm.
So my instant inspo for this year, this is shout out to Alexa Gold for making a post about this book. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, if Alexa's reading it, I'm going to read that John too. She probably read good ass books. So it's this book called Conversations with God. It's by Neil Donald Walsh. It's a really cool book, and it's basically like a guy having a conversation with God and like just asking him questions in a really childlike way, like in a way that's super like you can just understand it. It's easily digestible, I guess. And it really helped me kind of hone in how I want to picture God and like how I want to speak to him and like the type of relationship I want to have with God. And it's really cool. It's really down to earth. It's really funny. And thank you, Alexa Gold, for recommending that book. It is awesome. And I've never read anything like it. I really like it. So that's my instant info. Go check out that book, Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh.
She stole my instant inspo idea.
What?
My instant inspo idea was a book as well. So we
it could be a different book.
It could be 2 books.
All right. We are some reading joints this year. I don't know if you joins out there have time to read, carve out 5 minutes a day, and eventually the book will be done. But I picked up a book from Hakeem's bookstore. This is for all of the joins who live in Philadelphia. Please go and visit Hakeem's bookstore. It's right on 52nd between Walnut and whatever the next block is, but you can't miss it. Yeah, I bought a book from there by Inyana Vinzant. It's called One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. I actually just started it yesterday. It's not just, I thought it's a hardcover book. I think it's the 25th edition or something like that. I don't know. But the book I got is hardcover, and I opened to begin to read it. I'm trying to read it from cover to cover. And once I got to, it's a program book, and I didn't really catch that until I started reading through it and got to the first chapter. There's a read, and then it's like a workbook as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I feel like that's a money saver. I know Faz and I did one of her programs, and it can be pretty expensive. It's good stuff, but I figured that was one inexpensive way to kind of like kick the year off and find some inspiration for yourself and work through some of whatever 2020 has left over in you. And I guess we're going to have to figure out how to put that information down there for them too. It's called One Day My Soul Just Opened Up by Inyana Vinzant.
Okay.
That leaves you Miss Freedom Over Everything.
So Freedom Over Everything. Shout outs, I guess, to 2 different instant inspirational individuals. So this week, I follow a couple people on my Instagram page. One is Black Guns Matter. Shout out for this shirt, Freedom Over Everything. The owner of this business is doing great things in Philadelphia, along with the nonprofit sector. Good stuff. Thanks. He was actually on one of our Lotus Jawns pre-recordeds that posted. Secondary thing, one of my other friends that I currently follow on IG is Tailored Defense. I'm actually interested right now in my instant inspo for the future. I haven't quite decided whether or not I have the gusto or guts to do it. But he is doing a life fighter course where you like kind of go hang out in the woods for 3 days and learn how to survive. So I feel like I kind of want to challenge myself to do stuff like that.
I want to do that with you.
We should talk about it definitely every day. He's a Green Beret, so he talks about like how to survive and how to start fires, how to, catch wild animals and eat them should
It's
you
like
have
Girl
to.
Scouts intense edition.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. There's also like some firearms training and safety stuff that's kind of coupled with it. But it's a 3-day training. So I heard about that this week. So I'm trying to, build up the gusto to instantly inspire myself and others to kind of challenge yourself to gain some Girl Scout real life skills that may come in handy to the apocalypse
Well, we
or
have a
the
quick
alien
fix.
invasion that they're talking about. Just saying.
You can just take you take us there, and then you have to stay with us. So there you go.
I mean, okay. Yeah. So
if you take us, you can't leave. You can't leave us there.
But yeah, I'll probably list that information down there. But I feel like those are my instant inspos for the week. The ancestral room, buying things to kind of make my home more peaceful, but also reminding myself to be a forever learner and to kind of hone in on some skills that I don't already have, kind of on my sword to sharpen. So yes, freedom over everything, and definitely spending this year learning how to be a little bit less girly. So in case the apocalypse happens, I can start a fire and catch a random deer and eat it if I have to. So yes. No, I have this everything. Both of y'all made the same face.
Killing no damn deer.
Yeah.
But I mean, you never know. The alien invasion is probably next. They already said that they saw UFOs over Hawaii, allegedly.
Well, I'm glad that you have all the information to help us and the other Jones out there get prepared for the next one.
Yes, it's definitely about being instantly inspired. But the time now is 6:37. So I do thank each and every one of you Jones who are currently watching and who have been watching. To continue to support us, like, share, subscribe. But in Lotus Jawns fashions, in order for me to, clock in on time, I must say we must end things. So I'm going to ask my Lotus Jawns to take a quality deep breath and lead our affirmation for this episode. Big breath in. Blow it out nice and slow. All right, take it away, Jones.
Though the current political climate seems to be tumultuous,
I know my eternal voice and the vibration of unity overpowers the energy of separation.
I am a powerful Jawn. Thanks, Jawn.
Peace, y'all. Thanks for watching.
It was good to see y'all.
The Lotus